Hi everybody, glad you could join us today. In my last little video I gave you some tips on how to adjust, or basic adjustments for an L-Jet fuel injection system. This is on a 73 Porsche 914. Now I've got the car where it starts great, it runs great, it idles great. What it doesn't do is accelerate great. It does accelerate under hard acceleration, that's not a problem at all. It's the slower acceleration starting out from a stop that gives us a problem. And the general cause for that, or one of the basic causes, not necessarily the only cause, but one of the most common causes for the bad acceleration, or what we call bucking, when the car actually feels like it's got a bad accelerator pump and it hesitates and it jumps, it bucks, and it'll actually put your head right back into the seat, is the throttle positioner, which is right here on your throttle body. What this unit does is this is a series of electrical contacts in there that controls the fuel injection system, obviously, and you step down on it, it's kind of like a rheostat. The more you step down on it, the more fuel it puts into the engine. And as these contacts inside start to wear, it begins to give a bucking sensation. So what we're going to do today is remove this unit, and we're going to replace the circuit board inside here. So it's real simple. First of all, we're going to unplug the fuel injector plug here. This is the plug that controls everything. There's a vacuum retard line. We'll pull that off. There's a vacuum advance line. We're going to pull that off. Then we're going to remove the throttle cable, and we have two bolts. We really need to only remove one completely. We'll just loosen the other, and we'll pull this off, put it on the bench, and go from there. Okay, now you can see I have removed the accelerator cable. We'll pull that barrel out so we don't use it. We removed the return spring. We pulled this bolt, and we've loosened the bolt in the back. Now this accelerator cable, you're going to need an 8mm wrench. For the other two bolts, you will need a 13mm wrench. If everything's disconnected, this should simply slide forward and lift off. Now what I also recommend, find a shop rag, something that you can put in that hole there. You don't want to accidentally drop anything into the engine. Okay, once you've got your throttle body off of the vehicle, find yourself a nice clean area to work. We're going to have to remove the cap that covers our circuit board. Make sure that you've removed all grease, dirt, you don't want anything to really get into these parts. Luckily mine has mine's pretty clean, so we don't really have a problem with that. Okay, there are 4 tabs around here that you need to actually remove or pull back to get this cap off. You want to do it gently, starting at the top. If we do this at the bottom, it's just basically going to stress the top the way the things are made. So we'll slightly pull out and pull it right over the tabs. Then we can pull it forward and down, and that unit will come right out. And now you can see the throttle positioner, you can see the circuit board. Kind of hard to see, but if you look, you can see kind of a line worn in the circuit board. You see a little shiny line there, and as you step on the throttle, these contacts go over those well, the metal areas. I can't think of a better word, but anyway, what happens is as they wear, they tend to wear grooves in that area, and it doesn't make good contact. It makes a sporadic electrical contact, and the problem with that is that it will cause your car to stutter and buck. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drill out this rivet, and I believe there's another one up here somewhere, maybe not. But we have to drill out this rivet and remove this board. Okay, now what I would recommend doing, we don't want to damage these contacts at either location, and there's a way to kind of keep those from touching into the dirty background when we finish removing our circuit board here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt this, take an old business card, something that I don't need, cut a couple of pieces off of it, and I may have to change that there, but I'm going to take this business card and attempt to slide it underneath the contacts, and that should help keep our contacts cleaner. We're going to cut this card down a little bit more. Let's take this, cut that off. And we'll trim this up a little bit more. Get that in there. I'm a little worried about that. Trim a little bit more. There we are. So we've got that in between, and we're going to see if we can't get this to slide down in between the contacts and the circuit board. And that way, when we pull the circuit board out, the contacts won't be rubbing on the background of the dirt. The other thing that I'm going to recommend is this particular rivet here. It's kind of a rounded rivet on the top, and it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to remove. It's rounded, so if you attempt to drill it, what's going to happen is that your drill is going to want to wander. So you can either put your throttle positioner up, your throttle body up on a block of wood or something to secure it, and attempt to center punch that, which you may or may not have luck doing. Or what I'm going to attempt to do is just take a small file and lay smooth across it, and not too hard, but I'm going to file it flat. Right now I should be pretty much flush with the circuit board and should be able to center punch that a lot easier now and drill it out. Okay, I've got a piece of wood here on my bench. I moved my throttle positioner, the switch all the way back to idle. You can see that this area is flat now. I can get a center punch on there pretty easily and hold it. Now I'm going to hold my center punch and let's see if we can give it a whack. And we've got a nice center punch hole. In fact, we almost drove the rivet out. Let's get a small drill, remove that, and we'll go on from there. Okay, looking in my toolbox, I discovered I don't have a 3/32 drill bit. So I can either go to the hardware store or find another way to do this. I may end up going to the hardware store anyway. What we finally decided to do is, there's an adjustment screw, as you can see, right there on the end. We removed the adjustment screw. I had an X-Acto knife, and I slightly, once I had this down level, slightly pried up on the circuit board. And that removes, allows me, oops, I didn't want to do that, put those back under there, allows me to remove the old circuit board. And there it is. Now all I need to do is remove the rest of this rivet, which again could be filed down, but the rivet is actually made out of, appears to be lead. It's a soft material, hot metal, some sort of soft metal. I can cut it right off, and I believe if I do this correctly, I may be able to drive it out. If not, then we'll go and get a drill. And rivet and get us out. So we have our hole. We didn't have to drill it. That's probably the best way to do it, but if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm a redneck, so I'll find a way around this. Okay, next thing to do is, probably wouldn't hurt to spray this with a little throttle body cleaner. The next thing to do basically is put the other board back in. Okay, I've just returned from the hardware store, and it turns out I did need a 3/32 drill because the hole that the rivet was in that used to mount the circuit plate, turns out that it is smaller than the replacement rivet I'm going to have to put back in. So, we'll get our card under there again. And we're going to attempt to, how safe this is, we're going to attempt to drill that hole out. My drill bit is kind of, drill motor's not in that good a shape. Let's see if it'll work. That drill is broken. It sure is. I'll have to get a new drill motor. Anyway, now you can see the hole should be large enough. There's a pop rivet that's supplied with the kit. Should fit in there. And it's awfully snug, so we'll lightly enlarge the hole and our rivet will fit. Next thing to do is put the plate on.